Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to the INB show with your host, Slam Stapleton. I am your host, Slam Stapleton. Today, we'll be discussing something that's fairly old, but also pretty significant in regards to humanity, and that is space travel. Yes, I believe that space travel is the new frontier, the new way we're going to make humanity better and all that type of stuff, whatever. But anyway, apparently India, which is fairly new when it comes to this whole space race, the new space race that we're kind of currently having these days, they became the first nation to land a craft on the moon's south pole, something that is kind of uncharted by other countries that have previously launched and done stuff on the moon. It's pretty interesting to say the least, namely because I haven't seen India do a whole lot of stuff up until fairly recently when they started, blasting off and from India and doing all these different experiments and all that type of stuff, which is very interesting to say the least. I mean, normally we hear stuff about private organizations and stuff like that in America, Blue Origin, SpaceX, whatever. We hear about NASA. We hear about Russia somewhat, not recently because of obvious reasons that are happening in the world, but whatever. We also see a lot of China. We see a lot of Chinese aircrafts, spacecrafts kind of doing their thing as well, but not India, which is very interesting. So this comes to us from VOA News, saying that the Indian Space Research Organization, or ISRO, after they landed a unmanned lander called Vikram, I think that's his name, made its final descent in a very rough terrain of the South Pole. I mean, most countries have landed around the moon's equator and all that, which is less, hard terrain and all that. But they decided to land on the very hard to land in South Pole, which is very interesting to say the least. And it was a huge moment for India's space agency, whose mission to reach the South Pole 4 years ago has ended in disappointment when the lander crashed. When, previous landers crashed. But this one has landed safely and all that. India reported success of its Chandrayaan-3 mission after Russia's Luna 25, that was also headed to the South Pole, crashed on Saturday. So Russia tried and failed, but India succeeded, which is very interesting to say the least. And yeah, I mean, it's the Prime Minister of India saying it's the dawn of a new India. And yeah, it's very interesting to say the least. I'm excited to see all of these different things happening with India and their space race. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Maybe they're going to help out quite a bit with their, the Mars missions that are trying to happen and all that. It's very interesting, because there's a lot of smart people in India that we don't really necessarily, we take for granted that India, we don't think of India as having a lot of smart people, but they have a lot of smart, genius people that do a lot of amazing, wonderful things. And to be quite honest with you, I'm down for it. I mean, I'm ready for India to join the space race. I mean, China, Russia, United States, private people, I mean, a lot of other countries, can blast off to the moon and all that. I mean, we've had Indians in the ISS and all that type of stuff. So, I mean, it's wonders. It's wonders. It's broadening the space race to not just the main players like USA and Russia and all that, and maybe China, maybe, private companies and all that, but now it's another person's entered the space race, and I'm all for it. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do. But anyway, though, guys, what do you think about this news? Do you think India's inclusion to the space race will help with the Mars missions and all that type of stuff? What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. More vids coming your way, and hey, take care, guys.